everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Wisconsin Weather Experts. We have a great show today. A lot of tropics. I know we're still in the thick of hurricane season, but both Pacific and Atlantic heating up at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a sprint to the finish, getting to the last, 6 weeks or so of the Atlantic season. Pacific season slightly different, but still kind of to tail end of both. And it's almost like this, hurry up and get done, because for a while there, nothing was happening in the Atlantic. The Pacific was very, very active. We got the latest coming up in just a bit, but we're going to start off by taking you back in time. There you have it, October 9th, 2024. It's a date that won't soon be forgot on the west coast of Florida. That's, of course, when Hurricane Milton made landfall. It was 1 year ago today, causing widespread destruction. The Category 3 storm hit just after 8:30 p.m. local time near Siesta Key. It destroyed beach towns, caused flooding all across the Tampa Bay area, and even, unfortunately, led to 15 deaths. Look at that video, and the sound alone drives it home, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it was active around that time, of course. But meanwhile, October 9th, 2025, so today, residents of southwestern Mexico are being warned to stay off of the beach amid increased wave activity from Hurricane Priscilla. Look at that video. Wow.
Crashing right in.
Now, Priscilla is now a tropical storm, but this video from earlier this week shows a large wave crashing into Puerto Vallarta, big vacation area.
Yeah, for sure.
Where red flags were in place. Now, Priscilla is moving toward the southwestern United States, bringing a significant flash flood risk into the weekend.
And well into the southwest, too. Parts of Arizona impacted by that potential as well.
Exactly.
So now as we switch over to take a look at what's going on here in the national scene or international scene, or really when it comes to the tropical systems, Steph, lots to point out here.
Yeah, so there's 3 separate storm systems. In fact, earlier there was 4, but one is now dissipated. But look at the Pacific. So there's Tropical Storm Priscilla, and there's a tropical depression just now coming together that's forecast to become a tropical storm. And then in the Atlantic, there's Tropical Storm Jerry. So we can kind of get into some of these. We'll start in the Pacific. This is Priscilla. So the latest stats on that, it is a tropical storm with max sustained winds of 45 miles per hour. And look at how it's expected here in the coming days to weaken, but still potentially impact the Baja Peninsula. So it is going to bring at least, the heavy rainfall, the storm surge, just not quite to, tropical storm levels, but over the weekend. And then that tropical depression, Rob, also going to impact that same area towards the weekend as well.
Just being hit over and over again. And it does look like it will at least briefly intensify and become at least a tropical storm, if not reach hurricane status, and then curve in. And again, like you said, make landfall in that Baja Peninsula area. The Pacific, very active, obviously, throughout the course of the hurricane season there. And the Atlantic, as you said, Jerry is churning away as well. If you take a look at the map there, you can get the latest stats on Jerry as of 10 o'clock our time.
Track for you.
Yeah, and there's the track. It's staying at hurricane status. Once it reaches there, it seems to stay that way even as it gets into that typical button hook pattern toward the end as it gets away from some of the steering currents. Unfortunately, mostly out to sea, but a lot of shipping lanes out there. And of course, Bermuda may be impacted, at least on the outer shores or the outer reaches of that, rather.
Yeah, and then the Leeward Islands really today and tomorrow going to feel the impacts of that. No direct landfall expected, like you mentioned, but these spots just dealt with a couple of different storms. What was that, last week and the week beforehand? So really interesting to see from here what else happens in the tropics.
That's right. At least the Leeward Islands, where the storm sits now, they're on what's the weaker side. I don't want to downplay it, but usually it's that front right quadrant of any storm that is the strongest. So they're on the left and obviously the left quadrant and then back. So that'll minimize some of the impact because the storm will be kind of moving away as it makes its hit. But you're still talking about an incredibly strong storm, very high surf, and a lot of lashing winds and heavy, heavy rain. So from walls of water to walls of flame we go now. Authorities have actually made an arrest in that fire that destroyed a Los Angeles, California neighborhood. Authorities arrested 29-year-old Jonathan Rinderknecht for igniting the January fire that destroyed the Pacific Palisades neighborhood. He was arrested Tuesday in Florida and will appear in court today in Orlando. The fire killed 12 people and destroyed more than 6,000 homes and buildings in the very wealthy, very affluent coastal neighborhood.
Yeah, that was a devastating fire.
Yeah.
Absolutely devastating.
Just as you saw with some of the videos, the homes were gone. I mean, it just took everything down to ash, nothing left but some of the foundations. Even the foundations in most cases had to be dug up and replaced because they were so damaged by the heat from that system.
Yeah.
We need a happy note before we do our big forecast
here. We do,
here.
yes. Although I'm not sure snow is happy for everybody.
Well, that's true, but what you do with it is happy.
That's
have fun
true.
with it.
It's so fascinating. Okay, those that enjoy winter and snow will be excited about this. The rest of us can look at it too. It's fun. The teams have been picked for the 2026 World Snow Sculpting Championship in Stillwater. Out of a record 36 applications, 16 teams were selected from around the world, coming from as far away as India, Thailand, and Mongolia. In fact, a Mongolian team won the title last year. The competition runs January 14th through the 17th, part of the World Snow Celebration along the St. Croix River. So cool. We'll have to revisit that as that gets closer in the new year.
Well, we'll have to see what kind of snow they get as well, because we haven't had exactly seasonal,
that is very true.
Weather of late for fall. We'll see how that plays out into the winter. Although today's a pretty average day.
It is an average day. It's beautiful out there right now, here as well as in Chicago. Now, I know we still have Brewers fever, so I figure, let's talk Chicago weather, get that out of the way, and then we'll talk more about the regional forecast. But clear sunny skies in Chicago right now. In fact, we actually have a little bit more cloud cover here in Milwaukee. But if you are planning on going to Wrigley tonight for Game 4, those of you who were there last night, oh, it was a crazy game, especially in the 8th inning, but that's okay. Clear skies expected for the remainder of the night tonight. Now, yesterday there was an east wind. Expecting an east wind tonight, too. Game time, by the way, is 8:08. We know that Wrigley's position with an east wind coming off of the lake hurts batters, helps pitchers because it pushes the ball in, just makes it a little harder to hit home runs. But tonight the wind is going to be so light that it's likely not going to be a factor, and it really wasn't yesterday too. Regardless, if you're going to the game, bring your long sleeves because after sunset temperatures are dropping into the 50s, and same with Milwaukee. Any viewing parties that are outdoors, it's going to be a little chilly. Now, here's the bigger picture. We have a big high-pressure system across the Great Lakes region, keeping a good chunk of the central and eastern U.S. quiet right now. Still some tropical moisture down towards the south, and we're going to watch this low-pressure system. That could potentially become, yesterday what we were talking about, that potential nor'easter heading into the weekend impacting the East Coast. So something that we'll continue to monitor. It's basically in its beginning phases right now, so a lot to just stay tuned for. But nor'easters, they're not tropical, but they do still bring in a big coastal flooding hazard with the very strong wind off of the ocean, still the heavy rainfall, and still those higher waves. So those are big storms for anybody who lives along the East Coast and could absolutely be a factor heading into the weekend. Also, a couple more storm systems out west. Unfortunately, the southwest, we already talked about this, because of those two tropical systems in the Pacific, they are expecting to see very heavy, tropical type rains the next couple of days. There are already, in anticipation of those heavy downpours, flood watches put into place for a lot of spots in the southwest. In fact, look at this. This is the heavy rainfall outlook for today. You can see the marginal and slight across the southwest. Even bigger threat for flash flooding, unfortunately, tomorrow, and then even Saturday and likely Sunday, there will be the threat for heavy rainfall, and we're talking potentially inches of rainfall. So a spot that will always take rain, but remember, when it's really heavy, the flash flood risk is absolutely present in those communities and those states down towards the southwest where it is very dry. Now, the rest of us closer to home, we have that big high pressure system. So the Great Lakes region, 2 New England states, and down towards the south looking really, really nice. Now, one thing New England state's dealing with right now is the chill that we've had the past couple of mornings. Look at all of these spots, including as far west as still Michigan State and Ohio, under frost advisories as well as freeze warnings for tonight and into tomorrow morning. So we just saw that the last couple of days in our area. area. We had a couple of communities west of, we'll say central Wisconsin, that saw a few more frost advisories last night and early this morning, but it was really yesterday morning that everybody was under those freeze warnings. Look at low temperatures from this morning. We've had back-to-back days now of lows in the 20s up north, 30s for the rest of the state, and closer to Lake Michigan, lows in the mid-40s. It has been chilly the last couple of days. Now, forecast high temperatures for today, right around where they should be. Everybody, for the most part, expecting to see high temperatures in the 60s. But from here, we are actually going to warm things up a little bit Friday as a storm system rolls in. Could bring us a slight chance for a shower, but it's going to push our winds out of the southwest and allow us to warm closer to 70. Then we drop very nicely over the weekend. Could jump one more time for Monday, then level things out. So temperature-wise, we do still have a couple of chances to get near or even above the 70-degree mark. And tomorrow's warmth again comes with a slight chance for showers. So notice starting overnight tonight and early tomorrow morning as that frontal boundary rolls in, could bring in a few scattered showers to southeast Wisconsin or really eastern Wisconsin as a whole by early Friday. Otherwise, the rest of the day looking pretty good. We'll have to watch maybe late Friday evening for just a few more clouds or a stray sprinkle up north, but the rest of us look dry. So with that incoming storm system, stronger southwest wind, and a jump in temperatures. And by the way, I know it's not a huge rainmaker, but we do actually need rain. It's been a really dry stretch over the last couple of weeks, and we have our latest drought monitor. And although it's not bad, you can just see a lot more spots across the entire state that are now getting closer to drought conditions. And there's not much rain even in the extended forecast looking ahead to early next week. So something we will watch very closely as we do still need the rain. Now that's a latest look of your regional weather. Let's take a live look outside right now. Beautiful sunshine mixed with clouds, and this weather's good for fall foliage. We're actually going to talk with Chief Meteorologist Tom Walks coming up next about the fall foliage across southeast Wisconsin. Stay tuned.
All right, welcome back to Wisconsin Weather Experts right here on Fox Local and, of course, on the FOX6 YouTube channel. And if you're watching us on that YouTube channel, don't forget to click that subscribe button.
We've been talking fall foliage for the last couple of weeks as we're getting closer and closer to peak here in Wisconsin. But check this out. Oh, this is drone footage from New England this week. It was taken over parts of Vermont. Many of those leaves there have already reached peak colors. Vermont is consistently ranked as one of the best states in America to see fall foliage. The population of Vermont is just 650,000 people, but during the fall, they can get over 2 million visitors. And I know it was a little iffy because they're in some pretty extreme drought conditions right now, but it looks like they still have some vibrant colors.
It looks like the colors are doing well. The drought could, shorten the season. Maybe they won't get as many visitors, right? It might change some of the colors as well, but it looked spectacular. I wouldn't complain. I was just up in Door County, which is another great spot to see some fall foliage. It's not quite at the peak. Wisconsin is a great state to talk about, watching those leaves turn. And we're joined by Chief Meteorologist Tom Walks to talk a little bit about Wisconsin's fall foliage season from an evergreen tree. That's not going to work, Tom. We got an evergreen tree that
doesn't change.
It's the same color all the time.
Evergreen tree, doesn't change. My backyard here has not changed yet.
Oh, okay.
So I'm here by the fire. I'm modeling the weather deck.
I was going to say, where are you?
It looks like actually the exact same fire table.
It looks similar, doesn't it?
Did you get the set designers just to come over one day?
Smaller model.
It's the
come on out. Yeah, exactly, right?
All right, I love it. Well, it's a great background, even though it's always going to be green. Let's talk fall foliage, though. Eventually, we'll have quite the show.
Yeah, exactly. And it's been interesting, guys, because the leaves are starting to change around here. Of course, up to the north in northern Wisconsin, they're really starting to change over, and they're at peak right now in the Northwoods. And actually, it's good timing because for the last 2 mornings, parts of the Northwoods of Wisconsin have had nearly a hard freeze. And when we talk about a hard freeze that's 27 degrees or colder, I know one location up there got down to 28 this morning, and some spots yesterday morning got into the low to mid 20s. So it hit that hard freeze in spots. Why do I bring that up? Well, that can stunt the leaf color change, if you will. But the fact that they're at peak up there means I think they're going to be all right overall. Now, down here in southern Wisconsin, we're seeing some of that change. And over the course of about the next 2 weeks, we'll reach peak. So it's probably going to be the end of October. Our weather overall has been pretty good. Steph, you just mentioned it's been pretty dry, right? And so that may play a bit of a role here, but the fact that we've gotten cool, I think is going to help. The cool mornings and the sunny afternoons should really help those colors become a bit more vibrant. So that's the hope there as we go over the course of the next couple of weeks. I'm hoping some of these trees, except for the evergreen, will start to change here in my yard. But guys, I have an admission to make, and I don't know, I might put you guys on the spot here too. Have you ever actually been to Holy Hill to see the leaf color change?
Yes.
I haven't.
Yeah. Oh, you haven't.
It's on my list.
Oh, okay.
Steph,
I've only driven up through it.
I
know
haven't
there's some
either.
great hikes
I have an
and
admission.
things. You haven't been there? It's funny
So
how
that's on the bucket list for this year.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Hopefully it's a good year for that. It is funny how sometimes you forget to be a tourist in your own town, right? It's this incredible spot locally. If you're watching us and you haven't checked out Holy Hill around this time of year, you really should, like most of this team, add it to your to-do list for this fall. But Tom, I mean, there's a lot of spots around. You don't have to necessarily go to any particular spot. Here's a great pick that was sent in from West Bend.
Absolutely. Yeah, beautiful picture here from one of our viewers in West Bend. So you can see those great colors are starting to change, and we're going to continue to see that again north to south over the course of the next couple of weeks. So send us your photos. We want to air them. We want to post them. Our viewers are great every year with this. And I got to end with this. I don't know if this has been mentioned yet on today's show, and this wasn't planned, but Stephanie, happy birthday.
Thank you. You're so kind.
I'm totally calling you out. I don't know if you
you.
wanted us to call you out, but I'm calling you out. It's
Well,
a
thanks.
very
Right.
special day here at Fox 6.
I was trying to play it safe, Tom. I just didn't want to. You never know how that's going to go. But yes, happy birthday.
Thank you. You guys are so kind.
Yeah,
Thank
we're,
you.
of course, very excited for you. And we're very excited to sneak peek at Tom's backyard there.
Always.
So don't waste too much more propane. Turn that thing off. Get ready for
there you go, right?
the Brewers watch party or whatever you've got coming up next out there. Thanks, Tom. Appreciate the update.
Thanks, guys.
Man, He should throw us all a backyard barbecue.
I was going to say, what he should have said is, Stephanie, the birthday party's ready. And
come on
pull back
over.
and show. Yes.
And then our manager comes in and says, hey, you have the rest of the day off.
Oh, wouldn't that be great? And here she is now.
Oh.
No, she's not coming.
That's okay.
All right, I guess we're going to have to finish. Despite it being your birthday, and again, happy birthday. I'm a kind of like, please don't mention it. Please don't mention it. So I didn't mention it, but happy birthday. Mention it to her on Facebook. Yeah. And follow her, too. That's the best gift you can give. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Next month will mark 50 years since the Edmund Fitzgerald went down in Lake Superior. The Door County Maritime Museum just opened a new exhibit to remember the sinking of that cargo ship. Fox's Mark Leland takes a closer look at why the Edmund Fitzgerald is still attracting so much attention.
It's been nearly 50 years since the Edmund Fitzgerald went down in a storm on Lake Superior, taking all of its 29 crew members with it. But the massive cargo ship at 730 feet long was supposed to be able to weather any storm in the Great Lakes, leaving it sinking somewhat of a mystery to this day.
What is it that we're trying to convey to folks? What is the main goal? What do we want them to take away from it?
Curators at the Door County Maritime Museum this week unveiled their latest exhibit showcasing the Edmund Fitzgerald, which after all these years continues to draw interest far and wide.
I really hope that they take away exactly how powerful the Great Lakes actually are. I think a lot of people tend to think, oh, it's a lake, it's just a lake, it's just a lake. It's not just a lake. It is an inland ocean. It is very powerful.
Andrea Strohmeyer with Door County Maritime Museum says the exhibit, titled Holding Our Own, refers to the last words on the radio from the Fitzgerald's captain that fateful night on November 10th, 1975.
The last thing he said is, we're holding our own, and then nothing, not even time to get a distress mayday out there, you know.
The boat, by Great Lakes standard, had a fairly short life. She was only 17 years old when she went down.
Chris Winters of Milwaukee has devoted his life to documenting shipwrecks in pictures and was invited by the museum to share his story, kicking off the new exhibit. He says the Fitzgerald, even from its launch, drew interest.
In that short career, she was one of the boat watchers' favorites, and she was, of course, the largest ship launched on the Great Lakes in 1958 when she came out.
Adding to the intrigue of the ship is the fact that a hit song helped to give it new life in the 70s. The wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald by Gordon Lightfoot hauntingly details its fateful last voyage. Lightfoot communicated with family members of the crew for years before his passing 2 years ago. The exhibit includes a letter to the daughter of one of the 2 crew members of the ship from Sturgeon Bay.
We know the weather was terrible. We know that the ship sank, but exactly how did it go down? There's a few theories floating around, and whenever something is not closed, it is not a closed case, it's kind of open, it's going to draw a lot more fascination.
And it's that mystery that continues to keep the legacy of the Edmund Fitzgerald and its crew in the hearts and minds of many.
And now the Edmund Fitzgerald exhibit at the Door County Maritime Museum is open through the end of the year. If you're interested in the wreck,
So there's an exhibit open right now, right here actually, in Milwaukee as well. It's called The Legend Lives On, 50 Years Later. It explores how the Edmund Fitzgerald has become a mainstay in both art and pop culture. You can find the exhibit at MSOE's Groman Museum. There's a gallery night reception coming up on the 17th from 5 to 9, featuring a talk and a book signing. You can also visit the exhibit on your own time until December 1st. And then right here on Fox 6 on the anniversary, November 10th at 6:30, we will be airing our very own documentary about the sinking of that ship.
And it's going to be fascinating. This entire story has been fascinating to me, especially working in Wisconsin now. I think it kind of amplifies the story in and of itself.
Sure.
So,
I mean, it's one of the biggest Great Lakes tragedies and, of course, weather-related tragedies that, in modern history. Because 50 years ago, while that seems like a very long time ago, is not, ancient history.
Right, exactly.
I mean, it happened in my lifetime,
Yeah.
And it's definitely something that has been put into pop culture because of the Gordon Lightfoot song, and a lot of people, are fascinated by it in the same way that they are fascinated, say, by the Titanic or things like that.
Absolutely.
So I'm very much looking forward to our documentary. Again, that's on the 10th at 6:30. Check that out, and there will be numerous other things going on, obviously MSOE, or another excuse to go up to Door County in addition to the amazing fall foliage that you can see up there.
And I'm actually speaking with someone from Destination Door County today, so look forward to that next week, one day on Wisconsin Weather Experts. Thanks for joining us today. We will see you tomorrow at noon.